get started in a seated position. So just come on onto a seat and sit cross-legged. Start out with right shin in front of left, and try to have your ankles right underneath your knees. And you can feel free to, if sitting here in this position, if you find you're tucking under in your pelvis at all, you can grab a blanket or a towel and sit up on that, or a pillow even works to sit up on, so that you can prop the hips up so that the knees are sloping down from the frontal hip points. And then as you settle in here, just go ahead and close your eyes. Just go ahead and make sure everybody is on mute here. Mute all. Okay. So as you settle in your seat, take a few moments. We'll just take a few deep breaths here together. So sitting here, take a nice deep inhale, fill up through your nose. And then open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. And again, take a nice deep inhale, fill up here through your nose. And then open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out, let it go. One more just like that, nice deep inhale, you fill up through your nose. And then open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And then breathing now in and out through your nose. We'll take just a few more moments settling here, allowing yourself to transition mentally, physically into this next, 55 minutes of your morning. And as you settle in, just honoring the commitment you made to yourself to be here for this next hour or so. Especially this time of year can be such a busy time of year. And so really just allowing yourself to honor that commitment you made to be here. And as we move today, we'll flow through class. Beginning of class is going to be quite a fluid practice. It usually is, right? But today, we always focus on the breath and the breath with movement, of course. But today, I invite you to consider paying particular attention to linking your breath with your movement and really moving through the entire breath and breathing through your entire movement as we start to move at half a breath per pose. Maybe setting a little extra intention today to stay really mindful of that as we flow. And then go ahead and open your eyes. We'll just walk the fingertips forward. So start to walk forward, getting into the outer hips. And as you inch your fingertips forward, reach back through your sitting bones. Try to keep some length in the upper part of your spine. And keep your feet active, so flexing the feet so that you're drawing your toes back to the knees. And then go ahead and slide your palms back and just switch sides. So across the opposite shin, left shin in front of your right. Slide yourself so that your feet, your ankles are right underneath the knees. Sit nice and tall through your spine first, and then you go ahead and walk yourself forward. And as you walk forward, inching forward through your fingertips, reaching back through your sitting bones. And then go ahead and slide yourself back so you're sitting up. We'll come right up over the knees, make your way into a tabletop position. As you find yourself in tabletop here, shoulders right up over your wrists, and hips are up over your knees. We'll cat and cow the spine. So as you inhale, drop your belly down, pull your chest forward through your hands, crown of the head lifts. As you exhale, tuck and round, draw your navel in towards your spine, feel your shoulder blades move away from one another on your back. One more round, just like this. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest forward. This time, as you exhale, just tuck and round, draw the navel in to come out of that arch in your lower back, come to a neutral spine. With a neutral spine, take your right leg out behind you with your toes tucked under, and then reach back through the right heel so that the right leg lifts up to hips level. Right toes pointing down towards your mat, right inner thigh spinning up towards the sky. Gather your lower ribs in and check out that you're not kind of poking out in your low ribs. And then take your left arm out in front of you, reach it forward like you're shaking someone's hand. So the thumb is pointing up towards the sky, the palm is facing in. Head and neck in line with your spine, just start to find a little balance here. Good. And then lower everything down. Take the left leg out behind you, left toes tucked under on your mat. Reach back through the inner edge of the left heel as you lift the left leg up off the mat. Left inner thigh spins up towards the sky, left frontal hip point points down towards the mat. And then gather your lower ribs in so your belly button navel draws in towards the spine. Take the right arm out in front like you're shaking someone's hand, thumb pointing up towards the sky. Check in that you're breathing. Good, and then lower everything down. Walk your palms forward about 2 inches. Spin the palms so that they point out slightly. Middle fingers pointing towards the top corners of your mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Find yourself in downward facing dog. From your down dog, as you arrive, take any movement that feels good. Maybe alternate bending the knees, lifting the heels. Just start to feel your way into the legs, into the hamstrings. And then take an inhale, round yourself forward, roll it out to a plank. Find yourself in a plank, shoulders are out over your wrists. Tap your knees down on your mat. Take an inhale here, spin the biceps forward, grab your triceps back. As you exhale, lower just halfway, so upper arms in line with your shoulders. Inhale, press yourself straight back up. Exhale again, lower halfway. Inhale, press straight back up. Exhale, lower halfway, elbows stay in, drop all the way down onto your belly. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, roll up to baby cobra. And then exhale, just press yourself right back through bent knees and all the way up into downward facing dog. From your down dog, get a nice soft bend in your knees and then walk your palms all the way back towards your feet. As you get back there, have your feet at least hips width distance apart. Keep a nice soft bend in your knees. Grab onto opposite elbows. Let your chest, your torso come down towards the tops of the thighs. Maybe sway the torso out a little bit from side to side. Really keeping a generous bend in your knees early on in your practice, especially earlier on in the day, earlier in your morning. Hamstrings can be tight. Release your palms from your elbows. Take an inhale, half lift. Slide your palms up your shins, lengthen forward through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. Tuck the chin softly in. Press into your feet. Inhale, circle the arms, reaching all the way up to come up to standing. And exhale, take your hands together at your heart. Good, and then go ahead and step yourself to the front of your mat. If you are playing the playlist or playing a playlist, I will give you a moment to go ahead and press play. It is Zoom 38 today. I'm giving you batteries to get settled there.
Connected to Alyssa, he's
Giving you a moment to get mine settled. Once you get set up, stand towards the front of your mat. Bring your big toes together, your heels slightly apart. Press your palms together at your heart. Close your eyes. Gather yourself here for a moment. Lengthen your tailbone away from your lower back, with your sitting bones reaching back towards your heels, with your shoulders stacking up over your hips. Take an inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, Surya Namaskara. As you exhale, forward fold, dive it down out over your legs. Inhale, half lift. You can slide your palms up your shins, lengthen forward, find a flat back. Exhale, plant your palms down, step yourself back to plank, and lower your chaturanga. So knees are lifted or down, upper arms lower to parallel with the floor. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog, your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. You lift your hips up and back. Take a few breaths here in your down dog. So as you settle into down dog, you're spreading your fingers, pressing into the outer edges of your palms. And see if you can root down more between the thumb and index finger, that fleshy part of the hand. And then as you press down into your palms, can you wrap your triceps in? Wrapping the outer upper arms in. Really nice, guys. Take an inhale to lift your heels. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step up to the front of your mat. Inhale, you half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, tuck your chin, soften. Press into your feet. Inhale, circle the arms, reach all the way up. Can you grow taller at the very end of your inhale? Exhale, take your hands together at your heart. Again, Surya A. Inhale, reaching up, gazing up. As you exhale, fold, dive down out over your legs. One long exhale. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Continue to lengthen forward more through your spine through the end of your inhale. Exhale, plant the palms. Step back to plank. Lower your chaturanga, knees lifted or down. Inhale to baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, take it to downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Once again, about 3 deep breaths here in down dog. As you find yourself in your down dog here, always perhaps keeping a little bend in the knees. That helps you find more length in your spine. Feeling your sitting bones reaching up and back towards the sky, finding that nice inverted V shape. Okay, take an inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step it up to the front of your mat. Inhale, you half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck the chin, soften it. Press into your feet. Inhale, circle the arms, reach it all the way up to come up to standing. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Again, Surya A. Inhale, reaching up, gazing up. Exhale, forward fold, take it down. Inhale, half lift, continue to lengthen forward all the way through your inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, step back and lower, chaturanga. Inhale, pressing through, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing, lift the hips up and back. Good, really nice. Beautiful. From your down dog, go ahead and tap your knees down on your mat. As you inhale, drop your belly down, pull your chest forward through the hands, crown of the head lifts. As you exhale, tuck it around, draw the navel in towards your spine. So cat, cow. Inhale again, drop the belly, pull the chest forward through the hands. As you exhale, keep the chest open, but draw the navel in towards your spine so you come to neutral, coming out of that arch in your low back. Take the right leg out behind you, right toes pointing down towards the mat, extending it up to hips level. Good. Take the left arm out in front, so find that balance again just for a moment. Continue to draw your navel in towards your spine. Continue to gather your lower ribs in. Good. Lower the left palm down, but keep the right leg lifted. You're going to tuck your left toes under, press back through the left heel to lift your left knee up off your mat. So you're in a three-legged dog. Right leg is extending up towards the sky. Right toes point down towards the mat still. Right inner thigh spinning up towards the sky. Take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, right knee in towards the chest. Shift forward, look forward. Float the right foot between the hands to a lunge. Put a little bend in your back left knee and walk your palms up the front right thigh. So you're coming into a crescent lunge. Good. So as you find yourself in crescent, your feet can be about hips width distance apart. Shoulders are back up over your hips, pressing the palms into the thighs. Lengthen your tailbone away from the lower back. So a little lift of your frontal hip points towards your lower ribs. Good. You can keep a bend in that back knee, or you might eventually start to press back through that left heel, beginning to press the left leg a little more towards straight. Good. Beautiful. Take another breath here. Good. Take an inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Good. As you exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Inhale to step yourself back to a plank, high push-up position. Exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. As you inhale, right away, drop your knees down on your mat. Drop the belly down, pull the chest forward through the hands, that cat-cow. Exhale, navel draws in towards your spine. Shoulder blades move away from one another on your back, rounding. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest forward through the hands. Exhale, keep the chest open, draw the navel in towards the spine so you come out of that arching in your lower back. Take the left leg out behind you and then float the left leg up to hips level, left toes point down towards your mat. Find a little balance, take the right arm out in front like you're shaking someone's hand, right thumb pointing up towards the sky. Take one more breath here. Good. And then lower that right palm down, keep the left leg lifted, tuck your right toes under, press back through the right heel to lift the right knee up off your mat. Three-legged dog, left leg is reaching up towards the sky. Left toes point down towards your mat, left frontal hip point points down towards your mat. One more breath here, inhale. Exhale, left knee in towards the chest, shift forward, look forward, float the foot between the hands to a lunge. You can set up your feet so that they're about hips width distance apart, a little bend in your back knee, walk your palms up the front left thigh. As you press the palms into the thigh, get your shoulders back up over your hips. Draw the left outer hip back as your right frontal hip point draws forward. Lastly, lengthen that tailbone away from your lower back. Good. And then you might start to press back through that right heel, pressing the right leg a little bit more towards straight. Good. Take an inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, maybe look up, gaze up. Exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Step yourself back to a plank, high push up. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And from down dog, take an inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step up to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck the chin, soften. Press into your feet, inhale, circle the arms, reach it all the way up to come up to standing. Exhale, take your hands together at your heart. Here, take an inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Take a couple breaths here on this first one, weight back into your heels. Send your hips way back so that your knees are tracking right over the ankles. Lengthen the tailbone away from your lower back, frontal hip points lift towards the low ribs. One more breath here, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, take it down, out over your legs. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank, lower your chaturanga, or you skip it and go straight to down dog. Always feel free to skip the push-ups. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. From down dog, take an inhale, reach your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And then exhale, flip the right foot forward between the hands, lunge. Ground and turn out your back heel, front heel in line with back heel, heel to heel alignment. Press into your feet, inhale, reach the arms up, warrior one. Good, as you exhale, take the arms back behind your back and interlace your fingers. Inhale, lift your chest, loop the shoulders back. As you exhale, dive it forward, humble warrior. Bring the right shoulder towards the inside of the right knee. Press into your feet, release your interlace. Inhale, reach the arms up, just one breath. Exhale, float your hands down, step back to plank, lower your chaturanga, knees lifted or down, or you skip it straight to down dog. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, right away, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, flip the left foot forward, ground and turn out your back heel, press down into your feet as you inhale, reach the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, take the arms back behind you, interlace. Inhale, lift the chest, loop the shoulders back. As you exhale, dive it forward, humble warrior, left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Press down into your feet as you inhale, rise up, moving through the entire breath. Exhale, hands float down to your mat. Step back, you lower, cycling through your chaturanga, or you skip it and go straight to downward facing dog. Take about 3 deep breaths here in your down dog. As you breathe in, can you feel the breath coming in, filling up, expanding in the back body as you inhale? As you exhale, feeling this like contraction at the sides of the waist. Good, one more breath here. Good, take an inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step it up to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, tuck your chin, soften it. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Good, exhale, swing the arms all the way to standing. Good, we're gonna add on to that sequence. So flowing with the breath, half a breath per pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, up and over, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift to lengthen. Exhale, plant your palms down, step yourself back to plank, lower your chaturanga, or you skip it straight to down dog. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing, right away, right leg lifts up and back, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, float the foot forward, ground and turn out your back heel. Inhale, reach the arms up, warrior one. Good, exhale, take the arms back behind your back and interlace your fingers. Inhale, lift the chest, loop the shoulders back. Exhale, you dive it forward, humble warrior. Press into your feet as you inhale, reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. This time as you exhale, just open up to warrior two. Heel to the right foot a little more towards the left. Good, inhale, cartwheel the back arm up and over, right away. Exhale, your choice, chaturanga, or you skip it, go straight to down dog. Choosing whether you need the push-up or whether it serves you to skip it. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right away, left leg lifts up and back. Exhale, flip the left foot forward, ground and turn out your back heel. Inhale, reach the arms up, arrow one. Exhale, take the arms back behind your back and interlace. Inhale, lift the chest, loop the shoulders. Exhale, dive it forward, humble warrior. Press into your feet as you inhale, reach the arms back up, arrow one. Exhale, open up warrior two. As you open, press the arms down like you're moving through water, really press. Good, inhale, cartwheel the back arm up and over. Exhale, chaturanga, or you skip once again and go straight to down dog. Honoring what it is you need today. Lifting your hips up and back, we all meet up in downward facing dog. So checking in with your energy level today. Good, really nice, guys. Take another breath here in down dog. And from down dog, take an inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step up to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck the chin, soften it in. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Good, exhale, swing your arms all the way to standing. You can take your hands to your heart. We'll flow through one more time, adding on again this time. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, up and over, forward fold. Really focusing on breathing through the entire movement. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to plank, lower your chaturanga. Good, inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, right away, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, float the foot forward, ground and turn out your back heel. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach the arms out, warrior one. Exhale, take the arms back behind you, interlace. Inhale, lift the chest, loop your shoulders back. Exhale, dive it forward, humble warrior. Press into your feet as your inhale reaches you back up to warrior one. Exhale, you open it up, warrior two. Really press the arms down like you're moving through water. Inhale, reverse your warrior, flip the front palm up towards the sky, take it back. Good, exhale to take the hands straight down to your mat. Step back, you lower, one long exhale, chaturanga, or you skip it with the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Once you make your way to down dog, take an inhale, reach your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, float the left foot forward, ground and turn out your back heel, press down into your feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take the arms back behind you and interlace. Inhale, lifting the chest, loop the shoulders back. Exhale, you dive it forward, humble warrior. Press into your feet as you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open it up, warrior two. Press the arms down like you're moving through water. Good, inhale, reverse your warrior, flip the front palm up towards the sky. Exhale, float your hands down to the mat, take it down. You cycle through, your choice, chaturanga, or you skip it straight to down dog. Checking in with your energy level. Good, really nice. Take one deep breath here in down dog. Nice deep inhale, fill up through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Good, as you inhale, tap your knees down on your mat, tabletop position, drop your belly down, pull your chest forward through the hands, crown of the head lifts. As you exhale, tuck and round, draw your navel in towards your spine, undulating the spine, moving breath with movement. Inhale again, drop your belly down, pull the chest forward through the hands, crown of the head lifts. As you exhale, draw the navel in towards the spine just to come to neutral. Come out of that arch in your lower back so your lower abdomen is engaged. Take the right leg out behind you. You can start with the toes tucked under, reach back through the right heel, so much so that the right leg floats up off your mat to hips level. Right toes point down towards your mat. And just to pause here for a moment, oftentimes hips level is actually a lot lower than we think it is. I know I'm guilty of a lot of being all the way up here. So you can maybe even just tuck your chin, do a check. If you can see your toes back out behind you, you're probably at hips level. If you can't see your toes, then they might be a little high. Okay, so then keep your head and neck in line with your spine after you've done that little check. Find the balance again, take the left arm out in front like you're shaking someone's hand, left thumb points up towards the sky. Good, noticing all the little slow twitch fibers, everything that we kind of wiggle, all of the stabilizing mechanisms that kick in as you find your balance here. Lower that left palm back down to your mat. Tuck your left toes under, keep the right leg lifted, press back through the left heel to lift the left knee up off your mat, three-legged dog. Find yourself in your three-legged dog, reach the right leg up towards the sky a little more. And as you exhale, right knee in towards your chest, shift forward, look forward, float the right foot between the hands to a lunge. You can adjust your feet so that they're about hips width distance apart, put a little bend in your back knee. Inhale, reach the arms straight up, this time crescent pose. Okay, take your arms back behind your back, interlace your fingers. Take an inhale, lift your chest, a little bit of a back bend here as you reach the knuckles down. Good, as you exhale, we're gonna start to lengthen forward through the crown of your head. So you're just pitching forward, finding a little bit of balance here, kind of flat spine. Firm the right outer hip in as the left frontal hip point draws forward, making our way into warrior three. So you can step the back foot in about half the distance, shift all of your weight into that front right foot, and then start to get light on your back left toes. Floating the left leg up once again to hips level. Lengthen forward more through the crown of your head. Gather your lower ribs in. All of those actions that we take when we're down on our hands and knees. Same thing here, just a little bit more of a challenging balance. Take one more breath here. Check in that you're breathing. Start to bend your right standing leg. Reach your left toes back and down, crescent pose. Inhale to reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Good. In this low runner's lunge, we're going to start to straighten the front right leg. If you have blocks and you like to take blocks underneath your palms here, you can take blocks. Press into that right big toe mound. Stay high on the ball of the left foot as you move the right leg towards straight. Take an inhale here, find more length in your spine. And as you exhale, fold forward, melting down out over that right leg. Be here for just a couple breaths. And that front right leg doesn't have to be all the way towards straight, it can be moving in that direction. Keeping both frontal hip points pointing towards the front of your mat. Okay, take an inhale, half lift here, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, bend your knee back down into a low lunge. And you're going to ground and turn out the back heel. Have your front heel in line with the back arch, so setting yourself up for warrior two. And then cartwheel your arms up to take yourself up into warrior two. Arrive here for a moment. Press down into your right big toe mound. Lift up on the right kneecap, move the right leg to straight. Swivel your right hip back, reach out, lengthen forward, get long on that underneath right side. Take it down into triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. So if you have a block underneath that right palm to the outside of the right shin. If you don't have a block, palm can be just gently pressing into the knee or the shin, whatever is accessible for you. And finding yourself here. And even if you're someone who can take your hand down towards the mat and you always work with your hand down towards the mat, if you have a block, you might want to try taking a block underneath that right palm. Sometimes we find even if we're able to reach for the mat, if we back up, take a block, lift up, you might actually find a little bit more space. Good. Taking another breath here. Bring your gaze down towards the front right foot. Press into your feet. Inhale, make your way up with a straight spine. Exhale, bend the knee, take it down, warrior two. Reverse your warrior just for a breath. Take an inhale, lift it up and over. Cartwheel the arms, take your hands down, spin up on the back toes, chaturanga, or you skip it straight to down dog, it's your choice. I would probably at this point start to skip them. Some days when you're feeling a little more energetic, you might want all the chaturangas. Other days, you might just take one. Noticing where your energy level is at so that you can move through this practice in a way that doesn't deplete you, in a way that helps you feel more energized, more recharged after you finish. Okay, take a nice deep breath here. Inhale through your nose once you arrive in down dog. Exhale, open your mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Good, then as you inhale, drop your knees down on your mat, tabletop, pull the chest forward through the hands, crown of the head lifts. As you exhale, tuck and round, draw the navel in towards your spine. Good, inhale again, drop the belly, pull the chest forward through the hands. Exhale, keep the chest open, but draw your navel in towards your spine. Come out of that arching in your low back. Take the left leg out behind you. Start out with the left toes tucked under, and then press back through that left heel so much so that the left leg lifts up off your mat. You can do that quick check once again. Check out that you can see your toes. Those left toes are really spinning down, even the pinky toe spinning down towards the mat. So as you do that, you feel the left inner thigh spinning up towards the sky. And maybe take that right arm out in front. Find your balance here once again. Notice all the muscles that kick in as you stabilize. Notice if your lower ribs have poked out at this point. Can you continue to gather your lower ribs in? Okay, take your right palm back down to your mat. Keep the left leg lifted, but tuck your right toes under. Press back through the right heel to lift your right knee up off your mat. Three-legged dog. Left leg is extending up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knee in towards the chest, shift forward, look forward, float the left foot between the hands to a lunge. Put a little bend in your back knee, crescent lunge, press down into your feet. As you inhale, take the arms up, find crescent. Good, exhale, take the arms back behind your back and interlace your fingers. Take an inhale, lift your chest, loop your shoulders back, a little bit of a back bend. As you exhale, we start to pitch forward out over that front left thigh, lengthen forward more through the crown of your head. Good, firm the left outer hip in. Then you can step your back foot in about half the distance if that helps with your balance. We begin to shift all of the weight into that front left foot until the right toes float up off your mat, once again, finding hips level. You can do that check again here too and look back and see if you can see your toes. Obviously the balance is a little bit more challenging here to try to switch your gaze. Head and neck stays in line with your spine. Gather your lower ribs in just as you did when you were down on your mat in hands and knees. Take one more breath here, warrior three. Good, start to bend your standing leg, reach your right toes back, land it down, crescent pose. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Good, exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. If you like blocks underneath your palms, once again, you can grab onto your blocks, scissor the legs, start to move the left leg towards straight. As you inhale, stay high on the ball of the back right foot. And as you exhale, let yourself forward fold, melting out over that left leg. Okay, so taking a few breaths here. And as you fold, noticing what's going on in the hips. You continue to draw that left hip back as the right frontal hip point draws forward. You can try to keep some length in that upper part of your spine. Okay, take an inhale, lift your chest halfway and lengthen. As you exhale, bend the left knee, take it back down into a low lunge. Good, from your lunge, set up for warrior two, ground and turn up the back heel. Take the time to set up your foundation, left heel in line with back right arch of the foot. Press down into your feet, cartwheel the arms, take yourself up into warrior two. We'll settle here just for a moment, not a long hold. Find that left knee tracking right over the ankle. You stay, but I'm gonna come out so that my back is not to you. Good. Press down into that left big toe mound as you lift up on the left kneecap to move the left leg towards straight. Swivel the left hip back, starting to make your way into triangle. Reach out, lengthen forward through your left fingertips. Take it down into triangle. Utthita Trikonasana on the left side. Using a block underneath your palm, if you did so on the other side, hand to the outside of the shin. Good. If you don't have a block and the floor is not accessible, you can gently press the palm into the shin or the knee. Just be careful not to lock out that left leg. Good. Finding length all along that underneath left side. So a little knitting of your top right hip point, lower rib towards your hip point. Beautiful. Taking another breath here. So we find stillness in the pose, but it's not static, right? Noticing if you can continue to lengthen on that underneath left side. Noticing where your gaze goes. Feeling the movement in the stillness with each breath. Remember your gaze down towards the front foot. Press into your feet. Inhale, take yourself up with a straight spine. Exhale, bend the knee, take it down, warrior two. Reverse your warrior just for a breath. Drop the back arm down, flip the top arm up towards the sky. Cartwheel the arms, take it up and over. Cycle through your chaturanga, or you skip it straight to downward facing dog. Your choice. We all meet up in downward facing dog. Good, as you arrive there, a nice deep breath, inhale, fill it up through your nose. Exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out. Good. Let's take an inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step up to the front of your mat, inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck the chin, soften. Press into your feet. Inhale, circle the arms, reaching all the way up to come up to standing. And exhale, take your hands together at your heart. Okay. We're gonna come into a balance pose. I'm gonna stay facing you guys for this. So we're gonna take the right foot up, right knee in towards the chest. Just interlace your fingers, hold on to that right knee. Okay. So just find your balance here, right? So find a steady gaze point, anything not moving out in front of you. Finding that point, stare at it, feel the shoulders right up over your hips. Feel all four corners of that left foot pressing down into the mat. Good. And from here, we're gonna open up into a twist. So you'll keep that left palm at your knee. Take an inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, open it up to a twist towards the right. Good. You can stay with the left hand at the knee, or if you want, you can reach the left arm forward on a diagonal and then just be holding that right knee out there. Okay. Taking another breath here. Maybe your gaze comes all the way back towards that back right palm. Maybe you play around with it. Maybe changing your gaze makes you fall over. That's okay. Not to take yourself too seriously here. Wherever you go, just check in that you're staying with the breath. Good. And then stay twisted towards the right, but just take your palms together at your heart. So that left collarbone is extending towards the front of the room as the right collarbone extends back in a diagonal. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Good. As you exhale, release the twist. Come back to center. Still keep that right knee lifted. Good. We're coming straight back to warrior three. So you've been here before. You're going to bend both knees. Start to shift forward, pitching your weight forward. Extend the right leg straight out behind you at hips level as you pitch the torso forward. So you're one long line of energy all the way up through the crown of your head, through that back right heel. Right frontal hip points pointing down towards your mat. Good. Really nice, guys. Balance looks great. Good. We're coming all the way down to a crescent lunge. Bend your left standing leg. Reach your right toes back. Land down, crescent. One inhale. Reach the arms up. Good. As you exhale, take the hands down to frame your front foot. We're going to tap the back right knee down on the mat. So you're going to low lunge with the right knee down. Coming into a twist, plant your right palm down. Take your left palm to your knee. Press down into that right palm as you start to stack your left shoulder on top of your right. Okay. A simple twist here. I'll give a few options. You can stay here. You can reach that left arm up towards the sky. You could take the left palm back to the lower back with the fingertips pointing back, drawing, encouraging that top left shoulder to draw back. And you could stay right here, or if it's accessible for you, you could bend the back knee and maybe reach back for the foot or the ankle. Good. So all different options. You progress wherever works for you. Wherever you are, continue to press down into that right palm, stacking the top left shoulder on top of the right. Breathing fully into the twist. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Good. As you exhale, release the twist. Release your hands down to frame your front foot. Tuck your back left toes under. Lift your left knee up off your mat. Take an inhale, step yourself back to plank, high push-up position. As you exhale, it's your choice, chaturanga, or you lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Cycling through up dog if you took the chaturanga, meeting up in downward facing dog. From your down dog, take an inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step it up to the front of your mat. Take an inhale, half lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, tuck the chin, soften. Press into your feet. Inhale, circle the arms, reach all the way up to come up to standing. And exhale, take your hands together at your hearts. Good, let's come right into the balance on the left side. So your right foot plants down. Take the left knee up into the chest. Good, so interlacing the fingers at the knee. Shoulders are stacking right up over your hips. Find your stillness here. So once again, we are still in the pose, but it's not static, right? You notice all of the muscles, the tendons in our ankles, wiggling, wobbling as we stabilize. Notice the breath, perhaps creating a little lift in the chest or the shoulders. Pressing into all four corners of your foot. We come into the twist. Your right palm stays at the knee. You inhale, reach the left arm up towards the sky. As you exhale, open it up and back on the diagonal into your twist. Okay, you can stay here, or if you want to let go of that front knee and reach the right arm forward on a diagonal. I'm running out of space in my corner to face you guys. And maybe you play around with gaze, coming back towards that back palm. And stay twisted towards the left, but just take your palms together at your heart. As you do that, can you extend that right collarbone forward towards the front of the room even more? And as you exhale, come out of the twist, come back to center. Slowly start to make your way into warrior three. You've been here before, so you have the imprint of that pose, but a nice bend in your standing leg. As you shoot the left leg straight out behind you, warrior three, leg is at hips level. Left toes are pointing down towards your mat. Thumbs can press in towards the chest, towards the sternum. Good. Gathering the lower ribs in. One more breath here. Bend your right standing leg. Reach your left toes back. Land down, crescent lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Tap your left knee down on your mat. Come into that simple twist. Left palm plants down. Right palm presses into the knee. Stack your right shoulder on top of your left. Okay, and then I'm going to come out, but you guys stay. You progress from here. So maybe you reach that right palm up towards the sky, placing your palm where your gaze is. Maybe you bend the arm, take the right palm back to the low back, fingertips pointing back. Maybe you bend the back knee, reach back for the foot. So all different options, right? You grab the one that works for you. Okay, with each exhale, can you find a little more rotation? Stacking that right shoulder on top of your left. Okay, take one more breath here, inhale. And as you exhale, release the twist, release the hand from the foot if you have it. Bring your hands to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up off your mat. As you inhale, step yourself back to a plank, high push-up. Take just a breath here. And exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog, or you cycle through, take the chaturanga if you so choose. Good. Cycling through, meeting up in downward facing dog. Good. From your down dog, take an inhale, round yourself forward, roll it out to plank. We're going to lower all the way down onto the belly. So you can keep your knees lifted or you can tap your knees down, but take your time, keep your elbows in, make your way all the way down onto your belly. Good. And once you come down, we're going to take both arms out in front. I have to really slide back because I'm in the corner here to reach my long arms out in front of me. So take your arms out in front as we've been doing in kind of that handshake position with the thumbs pointing up towards the sky and your palms facing towards one another. Bring your forehead down towards the mat. And then lengthen your sitting bones back towards your heels. Lengthen your tailbone away from your lower back. So there's a little lift of your lower belly, right? Pubic bone is pressing in towards the mat. So keep this action so that you can protect your low back as we come into this. So you're going to reach back through the right toes so much so that the right leg lifts up off your mat. At the same time, reach forward through your left fingertips so much so that the left arm lifts off your mat. As you lift up, you're lifting the chest, reaching the right toes back. Continue to spin the right inner thigh up towards the sky. One more breath here, inhale. Good, exhale, release, lower it down. Other side, reach your left toes so far back that the left leg lifts up off your mat. Reach forward through your right fingertips so much so that your right arm reaches off your mat. Head and neck staying in line with your spine. And left inner thigh spinning up towards the sky, left pinky, so toe spins down. One more breath here, inhale. Good, exhale, release, lower it down. Take a little break. You can take your forehead to your hands, spin your cheek to one side, whatever feels good. We're going to progress with a couple more back bends here, so taking a moment to settle. I'm going to go ahead and take your hands, interlace your fingers back behind your back, coming into Shalabhasana. You're going to loop your shoulders back. Once again, find that action in your pelvis, so lengthening tailbone away from low back, reach your sitting bones back towards your heels. Keep the pubic bone pressing down into the mat. As you inhale, lift your chest and lift your legs up off your mat. Lift your legs by reaching your toes back, so much so that they lift up off your mat. Spinning the inner thighs up towards the sky, spin the pinky toes down towards the mat. Take one more inhale here. Good, exhale, release, lower it down. You can spin one cheek to the side or take your forehead to your hands. Take a breath here, settle. Good. So we have 2 more back bends here on our belly ahead of us. So you can stick with Shalabhasana for the next 2, staying with that interlace as we just did. Or if on this next round you want to come to Dhanurasana, bow pose, you can bend your knees, reach for the feet or the ankles. If reaching back for your feet or your ankles is not accessible, to reach for both. As I said, we have 2 more. So you can take one at a time. You can take half on the first one. I'll show what that would look like if you are taking half, and then the other half on the second one. So you choose where you want to go. I'm going to show Dhanurasana, boat pose. So if you're reaching back for your feet or your ankles, lengthen your tailbone away from your lower back, reach your sitting bones back towards the backs of your kneecaps as you inhale, lift everything up. So you're either here, you're in Shalabhasana again for a second time with your hands interlaced or a different arm variation, or you're taking half, one leg at a time. Take one more breath here, inhale, exhale, release, lower everything down, spin one cheek to the side, settle in here for a moment. Notice the beating of your heart in towards the mat. We'll come up for our last one. So your choice, if you're bending the knees, taking Dhanurasana, boat pose, if you're taking half, or if you're sticking with Shalabhasana. As you inhale, lift the chest, lift the legs, everything lifts. Wherever you are, inner thighs are still spinning up towards the sky. And tailbone's lengthening away from the low back. One more breath here, inhale. Good, exhale, release, take it down. One cheek to the side, forehead to your hands, whatever works, take a little breath. Good. Let's come into Sphinx pose. So take your arms out in front of you. Come up onto the forearms so that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders and your wrists are in line with your elbows. And here too, you're reaching your sitting bones back towards your heels, lengthening the tailbone away from the lower back, pubic bone pressing down into the mat. So that this lift, this opening is coming into the upper part of your spine as opposed to kind of dumping into the low back. Your lower abdomen is really protecting your low back here. And from here, just tuck your toes under and lift your hips up off your mat so that your hips are in line with your shoulders. Your knees are still down, so we're setting ourselves up for forearm plank here. So you just kind of work the back, open up the muscles in the back, balance it out. We'll work the front of the abdomen a little bit for a few breaths. So you can stay here modifying forearm plank with your knees down, or you can press back through your heels and lift your knees up off your mat. As you find yourself in your forearm plank, your hips are in line with your shoulders, your sitting bones are reaching back towards your heels. Press down into your forearms, pull your chest forward through your hands. Good, check in that you're still breathing. We'll be here about 3 more breaths. If at any point you've had enough, you need to tap the knees down, you need to come out, come to a child's pose, that's your choice, take yourself there. Again, honoring your energy level so that you feel energized after this practice as opposed to depleted. Good. If you had enough, you'll tap your knees down, come out. If you want to walk your feet in towards your elbows and walk it up into dolphin, start to walk the feet in, you can take dolphin for a few breaths. Once again, honoring where you are at today, your energy level, unique to you, what you need in this moment. You're in child's pose or you're in dolphin. Good, really nice, guys. Nice, Michelle. Beautiful. All right. If you're still up in dolphin, let's start to make our way down. Everyone come on back to a child's pose. Give your arms a break, take them back by your sides. Let your palms face up towards the sky. Let your shoulders round forward to your mat. Shake the hips out a little bit from side to side. Rock the forehead out a little bit from side to side. Good. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way into pigeon on the right side. If you want to come into pigeon right from child's pose, some people like to come into it straight from there. You can slide forward. If you like to come through from down dog and swing the leg through, you can do that. You guys all know I like to cue it from a lunge. So if you want to come to a low lunge with your right foot forward to start, and then start to heel to that right foot across towards the left side of your mat, and then take the hips down into pigeon on the right side. So if pigeon does not work for you, if there's any pain in your kneecap, you take a figure 4 down on your back instead. Come right on down onto your backs, take a figure 4 on the right side. And ideally, both frontal hip points are pointing forward towards the front of your mat. So if you have a block or a blanket or bolster, something you can prop up underneath that right hip to help you keep both frontal hip points pointing forward, you can do that. And then as you settle in here to your pigeon, you might come down onto your forearms, maybe bring the forehead all the way down towards the mat. Maybe bring your forehead to a block or stack your hands into fists, bring your forehead down to that. Find a place where you can find a bit of a release, a surrender here. Right, so this is an active pose, right? There's a lot going on in the hips here. But you want to be in a position such that you can really feel the pelvis dropping down into the earth. Really let the space between your shoulder blades back behind your heart soften as you release the forehead down towards the floor. And as you settle here for just a couple more breaths, seeing if you can really bring the breath, the inhale as you breathe in, into the back body. If you can feel it filling up the backs of the ribs as you inhale. And then feel that subtle contraction at the size of your waist as you exhale. Okay. And then take your time, start to make your way up and out of your fold if you're folding forward. And you can come back through down dog, 3-legged dog. You can shoot that right leg back out behind you if that feels good. Roll the hip open, take any movement there. Eventually, when you're ready to come into the left side, go ahead and do so. However you did on the other side. So if you started in a lunge, I'll cue that with the left foot forward, low lunge, tap the back knee down. Start to heel toe that left foot across towards the right side of your mat. So shin, the front left shin, it might be parallel to the front of your mat, but it might not. That's okay if you're not there. Moving perhaps towards it being parallel, but no worries if you're short of that. More important to keep both frontal hip points pointing towards the front of your mat. Prop up your hips as you need to with a block or a blanket. Take a figure 4 instead if that works better for you. And settle. Find a spot where you can just be right here without the need to fidget. Melting the heart down towards the ground. Melting your pelvis down into the earth. And take your time, slowly start to make your way out of this fold. And you can shoot that left leg out behind you into a three-legged dog or down dog, whatever feels good. Rolling the hip open, bending the knee. If you want to shift forward, take a final half vinyasa before we come down onto our backs. You can go ahead and do so. If you've had enough, you'll hop through, make your way right down onto your back. Okay, so as you make your way down onto your backs, give your knees a hug in towards the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Come into a final spinal twist. Cross your right knee over your left. Lift your hips to swivel them slightly over to the right and lower your knees on over to the left. Gazing out over that right shoulder. Okay. Maybe letting your eyelids go heavy, closing the eyes, let the skin around the eyelids soften. And see if you can soften the belly, the skin all around the belly, the sides of the waist. Just kind of feel in that twist as the belly goes soft. You can feel like you're kind of wringing out at the waist. Take your time, make your way back to center. Twist it out to the other side, cross your left knee over your right, lift your hips, swivel them slightly over to the left, lower the knees on over to the right. And gaze out over that left shoulder. And once again here, can you let the belly be soft so that you can feel like you're kind of wringing out the waist. And then take your time to make your way back to center. If you want to hug the knees in towards the chest one last time before Shavasana, if there's any other final pose you need, maybe a happy baby for a few breaths, flexing the feet, grabbing the outer edges of the feet. And if you're in a happy baby, you'll bring the soles of the feet to come together. And lower that down onto your mat. And take the knees to come together if they're not already. Extend your legs out in front of you. Extend your arms by your sides. Take your time to set yourself up for Shavasana, your final resting pose here. If you need an extra layer or have a blanket, something you can drape over you. Sometimes a blanket is really nice because that weight on top of you help you feel a little bit more of a surrender. And as you come down onto your back, right, take the time to set up this pose just as we do any other pose. Move anything out of your way. Let your feet flop open. Let your arms rest by your sides with the palms facing up so there's nothing touching your feet or your fingertips. And take a nice deep breath here. Inhale, fill up through your nose. And sip in a little bit more air when you get to the top. And then open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And with that exhale, feel the weight of your body descending, releasing down into the earth beneath you. And with each effortless exhale you let out, if there's anywhere you can soften, you can surrender a little bit more. Relax the roots of your thumbs. Wiggle out your jaw. Pick apart your lips. Let go of any tension there. Feel the skin all around the eyes, the skin between the eyebrows. Soften. And see if you can't feel your earlobes draping heavy down towards the mat. Allowing yourself to just be right here. These next few moments in stillness. Feeling whole, feeling complete. Just as you are laying here, breathing. effortlessly. And without moving, take a nice deep breath. As you breathe in, feel the belly or the chest rise. And as you breathe out, feel the belly button fall towards the spine. And slowly start to invite some movement back in. Wiggle out your toes or your fingertips. And eventually reach the arms, maybe out overhead, reaching out like it was the first stretch of your day. Taking a nice big inhale as you reach out. And as you exhale, just drop in, go heavy down on your back. And rolling over onto your right side when you're ready. And keeping your eyelids gently closed as you press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And as you find yourself in a seat, sit tall through your spine. Relax the shoulders down, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Take your palms together at your heart. We'll take one more collective breath here together. And take a nice deep inhale, fill up through your nose. And then exhale, open your mouth, sigh it out. Tuck your chin, bow your head down a moment here in gratitude for whatever it is that comes to mind to you today. And then slowly open your eyes. Namaste.